Hello and welcome to Today in Film episode 25. I'm your host Dorian Parry, and with me today is...
James McQueen.
Now, today's episode we're going to be talking about Whiplash, which is from 2015.
2014.
2014.
Mm.
Nearly.
Yeah, nearly.
There. Maybe it was released 2015 somewhere, who knows. It stars Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons and Melissa Benoist. It's pretty much all... That's basically the cast who matter.
I
Because...
know, Paul Reiser.
I suppose, but it's really just Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons. But other
Yeah.
than that, it's a pretty simple film, I'd say.
It's a great film, and it's as interesting because I was watching it. It's the second time I've watched it. It's your first. Like I was actually thinking about how this film came into being, and I'm like, where did this idea come from? Was this the idea of somebody doing drums, like jazz, want to become a professional drummer, or is this the idea of a horrendous teacher? No, he's not a bad teacher. Just his methods are horrific.
Yeah, I feel like this film could have been created in a number of different ways. Like, it could be just a writer just literally wrote a film about music. That could literally be it. And it'd be like, well, what if someone just like really pushed themselves? And let's say that writer
Mm.
was a drummer, they'd use the drums just
Yeah,
naturally.
because the question of this film presents is what is the cost of greatness?
That right. I'm going to start with a negative because I really like this film, but I have a negative that is related to that. I don't like how set on his path Miles Teller's character is, Andrew,
Mm.
because he seems to just be like, I am going to be great, and that's all my character is.
I think you took something wrong from it because at the beginning of the film, it's presented both through him and his dad. At the beginning of the film, when you see the shot from like the hallway before he's about to start playing, and he starts playing, and then the camera moves towards you, and you know that was J.K. Simmons walking towards him. In that moment, he isn't sure of himself. He doesn't. He thinks he does everything wrong. I'm sorry. Why'd you stop playing? And he just starts playing again. And he goes, why'd you start playing again?
Yeah.
I think yes, it's contradictory, but is it?
I mean, have you noticed how it mirrors the end of the film?
Yep.
It's
When he was talking
like
about the
literally
Charlie Parker story in the bar, and that's
not that.
literally the film.
I literally just realised though, right? So at the start when
Yeah.
he plays the drums and he cocks it up a little
He
bit,
plays the drums for Terence at the beginning and the end. Yeah.
yeah, but it's the same pattern. Like he tells him to stop, and then he starts again. But obviously, it's like the progression. But it's just the fact that he's like so kind of selfish on this goal, but like
He
like
becomes
he
selfish
doesn't.
because Terence Fletcher made
Yeah,
him.
but
That's
he
the
doesn't need to be that selfish.
No, because at the beginning of the
And
film, he
it's
asks the girl out. He goes to the cinema with his dad. Do you know what I mean? He does all this. He's actually quite nice to people. Lets people out. But it's the moment he takes Terence Fletcher's class before he
yeah,
realizes how horrendous he is. That's the moment you change. And I think it's like, how people change when they're abused.
yeah,
For good, I mean, they're acting like an asshole, yeah, because their situation is horrendous. Did you know what I mean?
yeah,
And do you know what's fucked up about it? When he goes in and he doesn't know anything truly about, he knows Terence Fletcher is arrogant and pretentious. He doesn't know how bad it is, but all of those people in the room that he's taken the class with know exactly how bad he is, and what's
yeah,
worse, they've all gone through the same thing.
yeah. But see, the thing is, right? Can we agree on one thing? The scene where he calls Nicole, or I think it is,
Yeah, no, the end.
near the end. That was just kind of pointless. it didn't serve any actual purpose because he'd been he'd kind of fucked her off about
Yeah,
probably close to a year, I'd say,
it's a
maybe
good
over.
time jump. It's a good time jump
Yeah,
because
it's
I think
it's
they
a
show it's winter, or at
it's a
least like
it's a
early
while.
January
Yeah,
at the beginning of the film.
and I feel like that was one that was kind of written in as a let's wrap
Tie this
this
off.
plot line up, but it
Because
doesn't
even
need to be
then,
done.
because it's like she said, "Oh, I have to go and speak to my boyfriend." It feels very like I'm making an excuse because I just don't want to speak to you. But
Yeah,
let's be
but
real though. Let's be real though. I think that's also to show. Actually, I think that no, I think it's important. It's to show that even though he's sort of come out of this horrendous situation, he still alienated people,
yeah,
and I think
but
that's what it's meant to show. But
the
let's
other thing
go
is
back a bit. Yeah,
his family or whoever it is. You know when he's sat at the
yeah.
dinner table and he's basically slagging everyone else off.
But he sounds
It's like
so arrogant about it.
he
Like,
sounds yeah he sounds too arrogant. Like I get it,
but in
but
comparison to what Terence Fletcher's asking, you're jack shit.
yeah, like you just I don't know. He's just kind of he is in a studio band
No,
and
no,
he's
it
and
is
they keep
called Studio Band.
yeah I know, but they keep saying like oh it's the best in the country. It's like but at no point do we get proven that it is really like
We know it's a
he's
prestigious
only
music school.
yeah, but there's no reason to shit on other people because you did a band thing
It's the
because it's
arrogant.
like
I think that's also to show how much he's changing.
yeah
I think there is point to it. Like, it's sort of weird, like how much of Terence Fletcher he becomes.
I think what was it I searched up after I searched up something and for some reason there was something about the ending of the film
Yeah, which is
and
amazing.
it was like oh and after he feels defeated and then he's going to go on to die of a drug overdose and I was like
That's the reason because of that is because everything in the film mirrors the Parker story.
it does but then it's like
He had Charlie Parker had a cymbal thrown at his head when practicing. Who throws a stool at his head?
I know it's magic.
And then,
I love that just throwing a
but is
stool.
it who's the main character of this film?
J.K. Simmons
That's
for
what
sure.
that no
Best
genuinely.
character.
No, no, I'm not joking. Like, I think he's the main character.
I think it's a dueling main character. Like
I think Terence
it's
Fletcher's the main character, but it's told from Miles Teller's perspective.
yeah, it's the right. You're trying to tell a success story by showing the target essentially.
Yeah,
So Terrence is it does he succeeds at the end,
yeah, he wins.
but obviously if you told it from his perspective, it wouldn't be the same story because he would be like, "I am great. Look at me.
Mm.
I'm great." Whereas Andrew's like, "What a dick."
But actually, if you look at this, like people say about characters not having personality, but this one actually sort of shows him lose himself to this, and that just goes to show the cost of what is the cost of greatness. And that's he's not. And this is I understand like Terence Fletcher's motivation that people say is good enough,
Yeah,
and I understand what he means, but it's just and that's the dilemma. That's the conflict. And but I do think Terence Fletcher at some point became a meme. Like Damien Chazelle was like, "Oh my god, this is a really funny line. I'm going to put this in."
oh yeah. He's
Like,
the
oh, don't
the
look at
the
me, mini me.
yeah the 5 hour
Yeah.
recording studio bit, well not recording studio, the practice studio, whatever.
Mm.
That bit there, he says a few lines in that, and it's like, uh, you're just trying to, you were coming to the end of your imagination, weren't you? Like as a writer, it's and when you can't swear, especially, but in this they can swear, but they still struggle to come up with insults that are
Mm.
funny sometimes. it just kind of feels like you didn't have to do it that much.
Don't get me wrong. When it gets intense, it is intense. Like this is a really tense film. And you know when he first goes in there to practice, you probably didn't realize it was gonna happen. I knew exactly what was gonna happen, and I was still tense because you know he's gonna do it. He's gonna burst.
Oh, I knew he was going to burst.
No, but you know
Like I
when
knew
he's
some.
talking to the trombone person, or yeah, and he's looking at, it, he said, "What's that? Fucking yeah, Mars bar or something," and then he kicks him out, and he goes, "It was you. It wasn't him. It
Yeah,
was you." And I'm thinking that is such a great display of power, and like, yeah, like,
the thing is, it's clear throughout the whole film that he is trying to groom Andrew to be this great person,
yeah,
and it's up to Andrew if he wants to crash and burn
yeah,
and quit.
and I think all of this was all of this just Terence Fletcher's plan because he mirrors the Charlie Parker
Oh,
story.
yeah.
Was it
Um,
always Terence Fletcher's plan to make Andrew the one, put him through hell?
well, think about it. When he does bring in, is it Ryan or something?
Is that the one from the beginning?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one he snubs and takes Andrew instead,
Mm.
and then he brings him in. It's like if you didn't pick him the first time, why would you pick him this time?
Yeah, actually, when you feel yeah, this is all just one big ploy to make
And then
him
the thing
great.
is, yeah, and then the second like Andrew starts playing the bit, and then Ryan or whatever plays it, and he's like perfect instantly because it's just instantly like Andrew's going to be like, I need to get that.
Mm.
It's it's really well done. I would say that the subplot with Nicole or whatever could have been a bit chunkier at parts.
Even then, I don't think it even needed to be because it's like it's meant to
No,
show because they even said we've barely seen each other.
no. But like, I feel like it would have been better had we had some indication of that more
Yeah, I
because
suppose.
he
It's
just
still
goes
the
on
one.
the diner scene where he breaks up. It's like, okay, then you're just gonna break up.
And that was only like a
You,
second scene.
it was like, all right, here she is, date. Oh no, you're breaking up now. It's like,
Mm,
I don't know. Add at least another scene in there. That's all you'd probably need. Just like they're on a like I don't know. Let's say that it's from her perspective or something, and they're gonna go on a date, and then he just snubs her.
mm.
But just something a little bit more like that. Just
Yeah, she's meant to display like the everyday student, like the everyday 20-year-old, 21-year-old who's unsure of themselves, and
yeah,
it doesn't go with Andrew's mission. Because here's the thing, Andrew's mission is to be a really damn great drummer. Like that's his mission. But it's Terence Fletcher who wants him to be
the
astronomically
best.
great.
He
Yeah,
wants
like,
to do the best.
mm,
The problem is, right? Um, the story of Andrew is one that where it really should have ended with him failing
is it though?
because it shouldn't. Right, I'm going to explain this right. So he is from the start. He is determined not just to be great. Not he's not. He doesn't want to be great at the drums. He wants to be one of the greats, a legend, a man whose name is known.
Mm,
And the problem is, if he had been just a guy who wants to play the drums, but through this story he becomes one who wants to become a legend, then the success would be like, yeah. But because he wants to just be like a famous person, it's like, wouldn't it be better had he not made it? Like, had he just
no,
got
because I
there?
feel like they addressed it. I know what you're trying to say. People who usually want fame and seek it out never get fame.
That's what I mean. Like,
And I think
I
that's
don't
the
know.
moment when when he leaves drums behind. That moment, that second end the second act, once after the car
Yeah,
crash. Did you see that coming?
I did actually see that coming. Like, the second he got in a car, I was like, when is this going to crash?
Because it's just a problem for him to have.
I I was watching I was watching Parasite earlier,
Oh, don't say anything.
and I'm not going to.
Don't, honestly, do not say that.
Great film, but there
Yeah,
was like there's cars, there's scenes in cars, and I was like, right, when's it gonna crash? Just because I'd watched Whiplash, I was just like, right,
yeah.
are we gonna get sideswiped here?
That's a nice.
Next scene, maybe.
That's enough. Stop it.
It doesn't happen,
Oh,
sadly.
spoilers.
Yeah. Who's that spoiler? Doesn't
Doesn't matter.
there's no
But
sideswiping.
no, that's the thing though. Like we are talking about, like people usually seek out fame, never get it.
Yeah,
Like,
unless they're lucky
but
or they're
what I
great.
think Terence Fletcher makes Andrew do is believe, and this is all about making him sure of himself and believing in himself in a fucked up
Yeah,
way. Because at the beginning, he doesn't believe in himself. He just believes what he wants, but he doesn't believe in himself. And it's usually and I think it also goes to say, usually people who are true to themselves, like true to their like work, like an honest, like again, okay, an honest film will always be a good one, even if it's
yeah.
not great. But a film that is dishonest, very very synthetic, very very Rise of Skywalker.
Oh,
You
what a great movie.
no, but you know what I mean. That level of dishonesty that a film has,
Yeah,
it'll always rub the wrong way. I always think that. But if it's something that was made truthfully, even if it's not, oh, they made some mistakes. I can see it though, that the people who made it genuinely care, and you can always
yeah.
tell. You can always tell that, and I think
Oh,
that's what Fletcher's ultimate goal was.
yeah. I will say, right, one of the one of the little issues I had with this was the car crash.
What, the green
Like,
screen?
well, I mean that's all part of it, but like when he kind of just like gets out of a car crash and runs off, like that was a serious car crash. Like that guy got sideswiped, rolled the
Mm.
car. Like
And he was on the
he's not
driver's side.
running
And he was
anywhere.
on the driver's side too.
Yeah, he's getting covered. He's covered in blood. He is like, but he's apparently fine. It's just a bit like,
Yeah, but
at least at least a bit more makeup to like make it look like injured,
yeah,
because it did just look like he was like a bit bloody on the
he just hit
face.
his head. Still bad,
Yeah, but
but like,
it's like you would not be running off
but he was
anywhere.
right outside the place, wasn't he? When he got sideswiped.
Yeah.
So, and here's the thing, he was probably in a good amount of shock, and shock can last for a good half an hour.
All right. If we use shock as the excuse, then that makes sense for why he starts to like lose it once he's on the kit.
And doesn't it like sort of like make you angry when he lashed out at Fletcher that they
Yeah.
just rip him back?
Yeah.
Do you know what I
I mean,
mean?
but what else were they going to do? Like,
It's like, what else were they going to do? They see that he's clearly been in an accident of some kind.
grab the guy? He might
Grab
have
the
broken.
guy that's not even like, come, sit down, sit down. It's just like, get him out of here. But that is also one of the fucked up things. Fletcher has all of those people under like whip. He owns all of those people.
He is in charge of
It's not even in
everything.
charge, but like, yeah, like really like abusive. And it's just like Terence Fletcher is not a good person at all.
I mean, he's a debatable person.
He
Good,
has a moral,
bad.
but
Yeah.
he is the antagonist, and I think he's but it's just so infuriating when he just like, and but it's also another thing, like all of those people he works with, like when he loses when he misplaces the note, the music sheets. I bet
Oh,
you Fletcher took those.
oh yeah, yeah. I think
Implied.
that's implied. Like he wants, because he gives Andrew the chance. That's the chance. Like,
Mm,
he is the one he wants to get through.
mm,
And I think it's like, when he says about the determination,
mm,
it's a I don't think he's supposed to be dying of an overdose or something.
mm,
I feel like he would end up dying just from being a fucking idiot.
I think no. I
Like,
think the dying is just like that is your peak, and that's I think. I think that's also another dangerous thing about the obsession of this. That if you actually
yeah,
kind of think about it, people who dedicate themselves to one thing and one thing only, yeah, they might be great, but they're not a person.
no,
Do you know what I mean? It's just like we can even relate it to other things. Like I don't know.
like
Like when people dedicate themselves to one thing, that moment that one thing's taken away from them, look how those same people act.
I like comics.
Yeah,
I like writing.
but
They're not the only thing I talk about or
yes,
do or focus on
yeah.
because
Like if they went away, you'll be
you
bummed
know,
about it. But
yeah, I'd be like,
you've still got tangible things to latch onto, and you are a person. That's when
yeah,
you see like
it's
people like get angry. I deviating a bit. This is why you see people when they get angry over certain like characters and films and whatever. Oh, it didn't go the way I wanted and all that. It's because
oh,
these people have projected themselves onto this one
I have a
thing.
right, I have a great point to make about that actually, and it includes comics. So, a Daredevil,
Mm,
you know, Matt Murdock, blind guy. So in the recent storyline, he is in jail, right?
mm,
And he can't be Daredevil from jail, can he? So in the last issue, they had Elektra, the assassin woman, take on the mantle of Daredevil to basically defend Hell's
for him.
Kitchen. And that is a fair thing. It makes sense. It's like, yeah, she would probably.
Yeah,
And there's a post on Marvel's Instagram, right? And it had a picture of her in the Daredevil suit, the new one,
yeah,
and it looks great. All the comments,
yeah.
all of them
They're
were either to
exactly what I
do with
think. Yeah,
it was either guys going, "Oh, why are all male superheroes been replaced?" Or it was, "Why are you moaning about it? Like, why?" And it's just like, why?
no,
Shut
and
up,
it's
man!
just like the people who
Like,
I'll bring it back around to Whiplash right now, but I think it's still the same point about the greater point about how much you lose yourself.
yeah,
And but like stuff like that, if you go out your way to complain about something on the internet as superficial as that, get a life. Like it's just media. There's 100 million other versions of that same story. The
yeah,
moment they try to make it tangible and identifiable as something else, is the moment everybody get complains because
right, right. What this film, Whiplash,
yeah,
it's about drumming. I I think either I feel like it was probably whoever made this film has experience with drums.
Damien Chazelle, yeah,
But it drums. It's more of one where you can like injure yourself
yeah. It's no,
because
it's an
physical
athlete's instrument.
thing, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but like because obviously if it's like a bloody trombone or a triangle,
mm,
it wouldn't be that interesting because you can only blow a trumpet so much
mm,
until you physically can't do it. Like you can't create air,
mm.
but
And,
you can force yourself to move.
yeah, and the
So
drums are such a centerpiece of
yeah,
any band.
and there's only one set of them.
Yeah, so everybody's playing with you and because of you. The
Oh,
drums
he
keep everybody in time.
when he starts playing Caravan,
Mm.
like
At the end,
yeah, the
he really counts them in.
beats are it doesn't focus on the drums all the time. You'll hear it in the sound. When it looks at Fletcher and the rest of them, the drums are droned to the back
Yeah.
because that's how it would be in a band, like in a ensemble like this.
Oh, and can I just
No-
point out the best moment in that scene? You do not see the audience,
Oh no, that's you don't see the audience
and that's great because they don't
apart
matter.
from the judges at one point.
Look,
At the start.
yeah, but that's it. That's it. Once the lights go down, that's it. And what's the best part about it is the only audience that matter are Paul, his dad, and Terence Fletcher. Everybody else is just don't know.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, when you see his dad through the door, he is not even looking at. He doesn't even recognize his son.
No, he's just like, what the
What?
hell?
What the hell? This is not just my son. This is one of the greatest living players right now in front of me, and he so happens to be my son.
It is a great display of drum playing,
Oh, it is,
and
and
he does it with such speed, but also like gracefulness
he's
that it's
bleeding,
like
and he's
he's
bleeding.
the bleeding is like your hands your hands will naturally just like
Degrade.
loosen. Yeah, they would loosen though. You
Yeah,
would not be able to hold on. So it's like
yeah.
I feel like he wouldn't be able to continue as long as he does at the end.
And for the amount of
Like
hours he's no, think of it this way, because when you play guitar or something, your hands callous up to it.
yeah, but his hands start to bleed in that scene, so it's like
He must be pushing himself to the absolute max.
yeah, like he must be clutching those sticks like they are not going, like they are part of his hand.
And also sitting in like the training montages, like where he's like like really like going for it. It's just like, and that's also another thing about not being sure of yourself. The moment you start putting so much emphasis on hitting those cymbals at the right time, if you just relax and do it, you'll hit those cymbals better than if you did if you were thrashing the hell out of them, putting 110% into it. Do you know what I mean?
Also, you know the scene where it's the three of them trying to get the tempo
Yeah.
right? The one guy, what the hell was that? Like that guy, I don't know if that guy can play the drums like before, but they're like there was no tempo there whatsoever, and it was just a bit like,
Mm,
why are you even bothering with this? Because he just like it was the guy who was the original drummer, and
mm,
he's barely hitting the thing with any speed, and it's like
mm.
compared to the other two,
I suppose it's exhaustion too.
no, but the whole time he wasn't playing it anywhere near as fast as the other two.
Yeah, but actually, I just noticed another thing. I do think this is all a big ploy to get Andrew to be one of the greatest drummers. I think this is one big orchestrated thing because notice he says be there at like 7 o'clock sharp,
Uh,
right at
do
the
you mean
beginning.
the six a.m. sharp one,
Yeah, and it's 9 a.m.
and
Yeah,
it's 9 a.m.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I,
100% think that is. Yeah.
it's one of those where um, I think it's to get the urgency of it. Like
Mm.
if I say six, you're gonna like if you wake up late, you're gonna be like, oh shit, and you're gonna rush. You're gonna be like, oh crap.
And if you had that pulled from underneath you, you'll just feel empty until. And it's 3 hours.
Well, it's not 3 hours because
Oh,
obviously he doesn't wake up at six. He wakes up at like eight past or something.
oh yeah, but like he
So
waited for a good while. And it's just like I think that's also like one of those like psychological things to make you feel worthless. Like he abuses his he talks shit about everything he is. Like Terence Fletcher's homophobic. Um, and
yeah,
it's like no, he has all of them to a fiddle. Didn't talk about this scene. You know when he gets the phone call,
yeah,
and then we find out one of his players that he had was that died in a car crash, sort of foreshadowing a car crash happening, which he obviously we find out he lied about. He,
right,
but no, he called him. He was being really emotional, and what he says about him, he was a beautiful player, not a person,
yeah.
not a person.
Do you know what I just found funny? Right, I just searched up something, and it's just like there's actual questions like on the internet saying, did he deliberately ask him to come in early? Did he do that? It's like what?
Yes,
Are you serious? Did you watch this movie and come out of it saying, I wonder did he do that on purpose?
he clearly did tell him to go there
It's
earlier than.
pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious, like
Yeah,
the whole
that's the other
scene.
thing when like people ask silly questions, but like I do think, and actually, just throughout this, I didn't realize that this was just one orchestrated, like thinking that this could be one orchestrated thing to get Andrew to be, and I think it is.
You know, like in the movie Driver, this is a super villain origin story. I mean,
Mm.
Terrence is basically a super villain, and
Yeah,
he's just like
I mean,
crazy.
and it's like so insane. Like, and the fact that he thought he could he got away with it for so long.
Yeah,
Like
he
how
played he plays him basically,
mm, and
but you know like he kind of admits that he knows it was him.
yeah, I
It's
like
like
that. I like that because like guess what? And it's such like obviously you would think it was him. He
yeah, there's
literally
no
had
one
a
else.
breakdown, toppled him, and literally not a few days later he's sacked. Hmm.
Yeah, it's a bit strange.
I'm glad they pointed out the convenience in that logic, and it just and how he tries to fuck him over. Was that a plan, or was that just a bit of revenge he had in store for him?
Oh, I think that was a part of like let me see because the thing is right. The thing with songs is they have a beat, they have a
Yes.
tempo, they have a rhythm, and I think what it was he wanted hit to see if he can pick up the rhythm, the beats. What does he think he should be playing from hearing the others?
Yeah.
Because he can't predict what's going to happen really, but he can play in a similar kind of style, I guess. You know,
Yeah. And that's also
like
like
if it's going like do do do, he can do that too,
yeah.
or he can do the opposite of it to like reflect it or
Mm.
something. He should know how to do
That's
it,
when you
but
become like really experienced with your instrument. Is when you can start playing your instrument to other
yeah.
instruments based on ear.
But the thing is, That's why he's like continues playing
Mm. He ain't looking
because
at
he's
music.
no, he's not looking at the music, but he's continuing to play because he's kind of like you might think you've won,
Mm.
but I'm not done yet.
Yeah, and that I think that's was this like the last spur of motivation that Terence Fletcher needed to give to Andrew? Well, clearly it was
Yeah,
the film. That was
because
his motivation, but did Terence explicitly will it? That was the point of giving it to him.
no, it was because of the fact that there's a line about how there's like people in the audience who are going to pick you up, isn't there? You know,
Yeah, I didn't mean that. I meant more like, was this all part of Terence Fletcher's big overarching plan to make the new Charlie Parker?
no, that's what I mean. So right, so he says about the audience having people who will make you big,
Yes.
and I think the whole point is that he makes him fuck up so that if he leaves, that's it. He's never going to have a career in it. Like
Huh.
he can't.
Yeah.
But then because he goes no, because he has to continue playing.
He's
That's
forced
what
into that
he
situation.
realizes.
Oh my.
Yeah, because if he stops, it's over.
But then
So
we,
he, you know,
yeah. But
I don't
then we
know. I'm
see.
theorizing here.
I sort of like that. But then we get then we get like Terence Fletcher when he's looking all smug when he feels like I fucked you over. But then again,
Oh yeah,
yeah, but then we see it only from his perspective, not Andrew's, and it's just like,
but he leaves. His dad goes and meets him,
yeah.
and it's like, oh, it's over. But then I think, what's his dad say? Does he say good job or something?
No, I think he says let's go home. Yeah,
Or
does
something?
he do say good job?
Because if he says good job, then that's
I've
another
got the
part
script.
where
I've
it's
got the script downloaded. I'll look it up now.
you can't look at the script because the script might not be the same as the
Yeah, I know,
film.
but I'll.
That's the issue with
I've got it saved
films
there.
and stuff.
Yeah, I know. Joker's completely different.
Trust me, having looked at enough scripts now, you don't have to read a whole script to know that it's so different. Like, the Island of Dr. Moreau script we discussed last week.
Like,
I skimmed parts of that, and it's like this is not the same film at all.
yeah,
So
but considering Damien Chazelle both wrote and directed solely,
yeah,
he goes, "I will gouge your eyes out, motherfucker." guess who
who
said?
wrote
Guess who
this?
said that line?
Probably somebody important. Right.
Yeah,
So
yep. Uh,
this guy did uh 10 Cloverfield Lane. That's a
yep.
hell of a film.
La La Land.
La La Land. First Man. Babylon. That's coming out next year. Don't know what that is. You know. Apparently that's it. Right. But he's a new guy. Okay, he's a new guy. 35. Maybe he's going to make it.
Yeah. No, he's won an Oscar.
But, well, yeah, but
Yep, this is different.
um, right, so he's a music guy, it seems.
Hmm. He's been around for about
Like,
10 years.
yeah, he's been around, but not like around
No,
majorly.
he's gonna be one of those ones that we'll remember in the future. Like I don't know. But then I have you seen La La Land?
I have not yet.
I've
No,
not seen First Man,
I
but
haven't either.
no, like yeah. I mean, well, obviously he hit big with La La Land. La La Land was a big phenomenon, wasn't it?
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right. Let's just look at his filmography though. Grand Piano, a film where a pianist has to play the right notes or he gets killed by a sniper. That's a cool concept, music based.
yeah. This seems to be a bit of a theme.
Whiplash, a guy who has to be successful by playing the drums. La La Land music, guy and Madeline on a park bench is a musical thing. First Man, it's very music based. The
Yeah,
the Starman musical number's pretty impressive in that one.
yeah, that yeah. Well, I suppose
Rocket Man too,
Rocket Man 2, Rocket Man 2.
but 10 Cloverfield Lane, that's
Yeah,
not as
the
musical.
script's different. Script's different
Yeah, see,
because what's his face? Andrew's dad does not say "I love you." I'm so sorry this is happening to you.
what is that? No, I'm sorry, but
That's a shit line.
I've written stuff, and that sounds like a line that you just like. I need something to say some here.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. That's
in,
like,
in insert emotive line. Just
mm, like I don't even think you even hear what he said, but but obviously it says, oh, it's something clicks in his head. Yeah, it's just like, okay, we've got too much description here. We need a line just to break all this up. Need a
what
bit of-
does Andrew's dad say to him in Whiplash? Probably going to get an article asking something.
No, but like, okay, I'll keep. But no, what's great about it is, did Terence Fletcher try to screw him over at
Oh
the end,
God!
or was that the
You do,
point?
there's a theory on Reddit, right?
Yeah.
That Fletcher is Andrew's real dad. Oh,
Reddit gonna Reddit. No,
I'm sorry, but that is just
it's like
something else, isn't it?
I am your father. No, I am your father. That's not true. That's not possible. But
I
no,
think that'd be quite good.
I do believe
Oh,
though that Fletcher tried. This is all one elaborate plan.
his name is Neiman. I didn't realise that. I thought he was just getting called Neiman. Whoops. Probably should have paid attention to that bit. Terence Fletcher. Blah, blah, blah. It's all Terence Fletcher and Andrew.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But no, but I do feel like I like how it ends on literally the crescendo, like a song, like showing that the whole film is one big song,
Oh, yeah.
like music number. I like that. I think that's really good ending. But I like how it ends, and that's his peak. I
I don't
like
know.
that.
I don't think it's like necessarily his peak, but it's all we need to see.
Yeah.
Because this isn't Ray. It's not like a wow, and now let's see the rest of the journey. It's a fake story.
Mm,
Here is where we want to end it.
yeah.
He's finally made it in the eyes of Terence Fletcher.
Yeah. It's a
That's the whole film.
no, and his
It's
dad and his dad.
well, yeah,
That's the only two audience members that you can, because when you see his dad looking at Andrew and he's like starstruck, you see
yeah,
Terence Fletcher not doing anything, just watching him, not even doing any hand actions, just stood there in the dark watching him.
but the whole film is it's like I guess the acceptance and
Yeah.
admiration of
This
Terence
is the thing.
Fletcher.
Terence Fletcher's mission statement is done. He has completed
Yeah,
his mission. This is Terence Fletcher's literally life. This is Terence Fletcher's goal, his life goal as well.
it's funny, right? It's funny because this is one of those films where the villain revealing their plan, you know,
Mm,
that kind of trope. Oh, well, I'm doing this because of this. It works,
yeah,
and it makes sense that he would tell him because he's trying to get some trust in there.
yeah,
And the second they're on that stage, he's back to fucking him over.
yeah. And I think that's the thing because he's so. Because here's the thing: as much as he may hate him, he has so much respect for him,
Yeah.
and that is the toxic cycle that he's in. That's what all of them. That's what they have so much respect for him that
Do you
he
know
could
what's,
do anything.
do you know what's funny though? At no point do we hear that he's actually famous for his music.
Nope. And that's the
Because I
thing
don't
with
think
him
he
too.
is.
Nope.
I don't think he is.
Yeah.
I think he's
He's a great
trained
player.
people.
He's a
Yeah,
great player, but I don't think he's gone anywhere, and he
I
knows he will never be able to.
I think he's trained people who have become famous,
Yeah.
but just not as much as he would like. Like,
Yeah.
they aren't what he envisioned. Like he thought they were failures, but they still made it. But like, he trained them, so he's the one who gets a bit of fame from it.
Yeah.
And obviously, you do that enough, your name's going to get out there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think this is money. This is not a. I do believe it when this isn't about commercialism. This isn't about earning money other than this is like he wants art. Do you know what I mean? He wants an artist. He wants somebody, but also a powerhouse of a musician.
He needs somebody to make him feel like he's finally made a difference.
And I think that's also like one of the like messages of Terence Fletcher,
Yeah,
like the message of Terence Fletcher, like how he doesn't want to go out because Terence Fletcher is definitely he's in the second half of his life,
yeah, basically.
and he doesn't want to go out knowing he did not give it his all, and and he's desperate, and he's just as desperate for greatness, but a different kind of greatness than
See,
say
I
Andrew.
think I think we could honestly go on about this for hours
This is honest.
about
I've actually come to even love this film even more because of this.
precisely. It's a film that is it's a message. Uh, there's multiple messages in this. People seem to think the message is a negative one,
And it can
but
be.
it
It
can be, but
really
it can
can
also be
be.
positive.
But
That
especially because how it ends at that it ends on a high note, literally.
Yeah,
I also think that
but
is the highest note for Andrew's life. I genuinely think that. I think that's the highest point he'll ever reach because that's the moment he finally unlocks something in him, and now he's unlocked it. It will never feel the same way as the thrill of unlocking it.
yeah, I suppose.
I think he peaks in that moment in his life, and he's only what 20.
Well,
He's our
actually,
age.
no, he's yeah, he is. He's 19,
Yeah, he's first
18,
year.
19. What a strange idea. But I don't know, man. This is a film. It's
Honestly, yeah, this is an amazing film. Has the best
it has
fight action sequence.
it has nice music in it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a good thing it does. The editor worked overtime.
Yeah,
And do you know how? Actually, few facts. How much was this made for?
15 million.
3.3 million.
Oh, I was,
Guess how
I
many
know it's a
days?
low budget.
Guess how many days it was made over?
100 something,
Just under 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Filmed
So
over.
basically 100 something.
But it just goes to show you if you have a solid script with very few with easy to access locations, you can make a film like this.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think a lot of films, the time taking is one thing. Like, I watched a film the other week, and it was like this was filmed in order. It's
Mm.
like for some films, that's probably the easiest way to do it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. So you might start off small, and you might do the big stuff last, which might need more time.
so it's like do what you can while you can.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
and
pretty sure with films in the Corona era, I think some films have done it in order because it's just easier. You know,
yeah,
it's the accessibility for the people who have to work on it.
yeah, and you only have
Like,
people as they need to be, and then they can get done,
yeah,
and then they can go. Like Melissa
it's like
Benoist probably filmed all of her scenes in
probably a
3 days.
day.
But yeah,
She's in two scenes
Paul Reiser,
in
Paul Reiser too.
sorry, she's in three scenes in three locations. Four
All
scenes in three locations.
all of which could be
So
filmed in literally a day because they're probably like in the cinema area. Do we even know if it's a cinema or just some like
no, it is a
hotel
cinema.
lobby?
Well, yeah, it's probably not cinema.
It's probably like a hotel
It probably
reception,
is just a hotel, yeah.
and then
But
they go to the diner like next door to it.
they go to a diner and then they have a restaurant across the street. It's not like, all right, now let's go to another country.
No,
So I think this is probably a good time to wrap up this discussion.
yeah.
Kind of,
What's the number?
what's the number?
Yeah,
I'm giving it a nine
I'm gonna 10.
point nine. No, I'm joking. Not a nine. I'm giving it a nine because I can't give everything a 10. You
I
know.
would give it a 10 because it's just like it's perfection all the way through, and especially now, like you can go over about how everything links all up, and
Yeah.
know like the psychology of all the characters. Like yeah, yeah, it's a 10. It's like there's not one thing I think's wrong with this film.
Well, um, that'll do it for this episode of Today in Film. Please subscribe. Please go watch the other episodes and stuff. And we'll see you next week. Well, I will. James won't.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
See ya.